My name is Lydia Grant. I'm on the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners, and that's a commission that oversees the neighborhood councils in the city of Los Angeles. And one of the things that neighborhood councils focus on is community beautification projects. They do that because of a theory called broken windows theory that is rampant across the city, where areas that become very run down have broken windows that are boarded up, graffiti, trash, homeless problems, abandoned shopping carts, broken down cars, lend an appearance that the community is not well cared for and that the people that are in it don't care. And that is areas that crime migrates to. There are many areas of the city that are very well kept, and so a lot of people don't understand when you go, you hear about communities that aren't safe to go to, but nobody really understands what that means. And a lot of times it's because of the crime rate, and the crime rate is higher in areas where community members seem to be apathetic to the world that they live in around them. So it's very important that communities focus on things like community cleanups, and help raise up the level of their community to help prevent crime and to make it safer for their kids and their communities. There's different areas of the city that are especially run down, many of those in the South LA area, some of those on the east side, but it doesn't really matter because what you can find around the city is actually communities that will look really nice, and then just around the corner you can find completely run down, boarded up buildings with, a congregation of homeless people or, kids that look like thugs hanging out. The homeless situation is important to this because people look at a community when there's a lot of homeless and abandoned shopping carts and things like that hanging around as if that's part of the blight, and it is visually, but it actually is a bad situation for the homeless because they often become victims of the criminals and people who, are out to prove something, and many times the homeless become victims of those crimes. Graffiti is definitely a telltale sign that an area is run down and that people don't care. There are many organizations across the city that will come wipe out the graffiti within a few hours sometimes. Some areas just have community members that go paint over it. Unfortunately, graffiti is especially heinous because, while it not only destroys private and public property, but it also is a way that gangs tag their territory, and for regular community members to go paint over that can actually set them up for becoming victims in an area that's unsafe. But there are many organizations across the city that partner with the city and with some of the neighborhood councils that respond to the graffiti and clean it up immediately so that the gangs don't have the opportunity to take over and tag the area as part of their own territory. Litter and trash are two of the other big telltale signs of the broken windows theory. You'll find a trash can, and the trash can will have graffiti on it, and you'll see tons of trash either spilling out of it or on the ground around it, not in the trash can. And we're not just talking small amounts of trash. We're talking things like abandoned mattresses and abandoned auto parts, and that not only brings down the look of a community, but it creates unsafe hazards for people when they're walking. It creates, food as it decomposes has bacteria. A lot of the homeless people dig in the trash cans for food. It just creates an environment that is unsanitary and unsafe. and again, leads to that impression that the community as a whole doesn't care, and again is a great area for crime to take a foothold. Boarded up windows and run down buildings. That includes places like abandoned empty lots where people have dumped trash and the weeds have grown up, or a broken down building where the windows are boarded up. Those types of buildings are places that criminals hang out in, sometimes homeless will live in, again, perpetuating the appearance that the community is not taken care of and that people don't care. And when people don't care, they're more likely to become victim of crimes, and the criminals know that, move into those areas. It also does things, when you have blight in the communities, it also people sometimes who really do care about the communities will move out of them because they feel that their community is going downhill and they don't feel that they can stay and fight. But many of the neighborhood councils and other community groups do try to do community cleanups to help these types of issues and address them in partnership with their local police departments to try to clean them up and to make their areas safer. It's something that everybody should see as a social issue, and that they should do their part to not litter, contribute to community cleanups, report graffiti when they see it, and do their best to make sure that their community looks as good as it can.